Hey guys, welcome back to Tales of Life. Again, apologies for the 2 weeker, but I think that's kind of becoming normal. And this video was actually supposed to be up yesterday, and my mic didn't catch any of my audio, which is the first time that's ever happened. So we got to do this again. So hopefully I'll remember all the stuff that I tried to bring up last time I recorded this, but that was a day ago, and my brain is. So I think the last thing that was kind of exciting and coming up that I mentioned was that I was going to an anime convention that had like a banquet attached to it in the last video. Well, the banquet was sold out, and then it was Thanksgiving, which we didn't really do anything for. Then Black Friday, when I bought a new graphics card for my computer. Nice and cheap. Good card, nice and cheap deal. And then kind of that, I still worked both Thanksgiving, so I ended up having chicken baskets from Dairy Queen as my Thanksgiving dinner. That sucked. Being an adult stinks. And then Black Friday, I had my other job, so I did some stuff, and then I went to work, I think. Yeah. And then came home, kind of chilled. But then I ended up kind of just crashing out and not actually going to the anime convention that week or that day, because I was tired and it was a 1 day event, so I didn't go, and I'd spent some money already and I didn't want to spend more. And then the week after, so that was kind of a gloss over of the week that this should have been uploaded on. And then the week after, which was the last week, I worked something like 25 hours with chapters, plus the 17 and a half with the city, plus travel time. Which isn't a terribly huge amount, but it is for me. And given that the way my hours work out, it leaves me a few hours in the morning to do something interesting, which has been a pain and exhausting, and I really hate working retail. Chapters, the people are good, the management is so-so, not bad, just not good. But I really hate not having a steady, set schedule that I know will be the same. Because when I was working summer camps, I knew exactly what my schedule was. And when I was working with the city of Redmond, I knew what my schedule was. Like, I might not know if I was working that week when I was working if I go farther back with like children's technology workshop. I wouldn't know if I was working that week or not, but they would generally put that out pretty quick. Like at the beginning of the summer, not way down the road. So I really hate the inconsistencies of working retail. Plus, the fact that the management tends to be more hostile to you, being like, hey, I need this day off because my other job is big. Especially around the holiday season, it's just not fun. So I don't think I'm going to stay on with chapters after I get through this cycle. I'm going to stay on, until the end, obviously, but I don't think I'm going to stay on with them for much longer. Tomorrow, I have the city, but that's it, which is nice. It means I'm going to call the city of or the University of Calgary and finally, and I'm making a promise to do it, and finally get myself sorted with the education degree and see if I can get that started, because I want to get that done. So that was kind of my week, and then this weekend we had the staff Christmas party for the city of Calgary, which I actually went to, and I actually enjoyed, kind of. Like, it was fun. It wouldn't have been fun if it wasn't for the fact that some of the other staff that I work with are more serious people, which makes a huge difference because, while there were some people getting really drunk, there were a few others who stayed. They got a little drunk, but they stayed pretty level, and that was really nice. I even danced, which is very, very rare for me. Not well, but I didn't really give a shit. So that was fun, got to know people. And because of that, I didn't end up going to the wargaming event that had happened. Instead, I ended up going to the writing event and met a guy who's a published author, which was really cool, and a guy from Spokane, which was fun because between me, the guy from Spokane, and there's a girl there from Southern Alaska who's going to school up here. We all got to reminiscing about the Emerald Coast and all of the beauty that we have back home and how much we miss it. Like, I'm getting homesick, and I'm getting really homesick, which is at least in part because of the holidays and not having any friends up here. Like, everybody at Chapters is too introverted to really become friends, even though we would all work together really well as a group. And I'm getting into the city folk, but what that told me is there's a bunch of them I don't really want to be friends with because they're not my speed. And then there's a few that I could actually get along with pretty well. The other thing, one of the things I've noticed going back to the writer people who I was talking to about Seattle and Washington and the Pacific Northwest is almost everybody I've talked to gives me the, why would you come to Calgary if you lived in Seattle? Like, everybody who's visited Vancouver and Seattle is like, oh, I love that city. It's beautiful. Not everybody wants to move there. They're like, weather's kind of shitty or whatever. But they're always like, why would you come up here if you had all that? Which is really funny. I think it's, I do want to go home eventually. Like, I do want to end up in the Northwest again. But I'm going to try to at least bear it out for a little bit here, see how it feels. Well, I know how it feels. I miss all my friends, and I'm going to try to harass Newman and maybe get, like, a friend to come to me. And when I get back into school, I can try to make some more friends. But I want to, get to know living away from everything I'm used to. But eventually home is the Northwest, like, beyond all reason and doubt. That was fun, though. It was a little sad, like, it made me miss home more after reminiscing with these people forever, but it was still a lot of fun at the same time. That's kind of the most interesting parts of my life right now. I've been working a bunch. We took the kids to a ice skating field trip on Friday before I then went on to the staff Christmas party. Ice rinks up here are weird. They're just a plaza, like a tiered plaza, with a flat area that somebody filled with water and put up some rubber mats on, like, the steps around it so that people don't kill themselves with ice skates, and that's it. There's no attendance, there's no people renting skates, nothing. Which is really weird compared to what we're used to back home, which is you go to Bell Square, and they've got a little tent with an ice rink that they made, and, like another little tent with, like, a concession stand and hot cocoa and rental skates and stuff. The difference is obvious. Like, up here, a lot of people apparently own their own ice skates, and ice rinks are very it's nothing special because they get so cold that they can just kind of do it. But it was still a very weird feeling to be like, oh, this is what we're taking the kids to? Although it was fun to run along and sheepdog the kids and do my usual thing of, like, get in the freaking line together, without swearing at them, of course. I did fall, so my ability to not fall has never existed. I think I fell the last time I went ice skating, which was 3 years ago, on a not date thing. But I fell, and it was funny because my lower back, like, all of a sudden, pop, like, felt really good. And now I have a massive bruise across my neck and my shoulders, and even doing something like this still hurts. Like, that's how silly the accident was. But that was fun. We were impressed. So a lot of the kids kept going, getting right back up. Like, even the girls we would have expected to be crying were just, bam, ow, got back up, kept going. And I'm glad I do at least know the theory of ice skating, so I could help them be like, well, shuffle your feet a little bit. That'll help you at least learn to move and not fall, and things like that. That was fun. I always love getting paid to do things like field trips because it means I'm getting paid to go check out something that is something I would have had to pay. Well, in this case I didn't, but I would have figured I had to pay. Next Thursday, no, the 18th. So maybe you'll see a video before then. The 18th, we're taking the kids to the zoo and the zoo does, like, Christmas lights and all sorts of, like, they do their Zoo Lights festival, which we actually have back home too. And we're taking the kids to that, and so the city's paying for that, which is awesome. Although I'm gonna freeze my ass off because I don't have long johns, and I don't know where to buy long johns for cheap. I might try JCPenney's again. I might buy one pair and then take whatever pair my mom has gotten me for Christmas. That's gonna be cold. But yeah, been doing a lot of that kind of stuff. We had fun yesterday. We had the kids, because what I love is not only does my program lead, as well as my partner who works the kids program with me. We're all very much disciplinarian. Not quite as crazy as Eric was, that was a good summer because that was a very easy to deal with camp. I really miss those kids a lot. The kids from North Bend, I miss them a lot. But so the kids were just being loud, ignoring us, and I was like, "Can we not sit in a circle? Like, are you guys not able to do this?" And the other staff member, Zoe, goes, "All right, we're gonna sit in silence for 2 minutes, and anytime a kid makes another noise, we restart the thing." We burned about 30 minutes doing it, which is really nice because it shows a lot of things for the kids. Like, you never have to do it really more than twice, probably. It's the same idea as making a kid sit out for an hour because he talked while we were talking. Like, you shouldn't have once one kid does it and everybody realizes, all the kids realize you're not kidding, it becomes way more real to them. But it was really nice to have that because it showed the kids we were serious. And great moment was, all right, we've got a minute and a half, or we've got 30 seconds left. And one of the kids went, "Yay." And she's like, "Okay, we're restarting." And all the kids are like, "Oh my God." And we're like, "Well, we said any noise." We have a few little snots now who are not happy that we're pushing back. He's just like, ugh, constantly rolling his eyes. And he's like, he's not even like 11. He's like 9 or 10. And he's being a little shit. So, and we were like, "Look, you don't want to do this. We don't really care. Like, screw you. You know, we have to do what we have planned. So this is the way it's gonna work. And we're sick of hearing you complain. So that's that." I did have one kid call me a fag, which we had to have a talk about because that is a bad word. And then I mentioned it up to his dad too, being like, "Look, we talked to him, this was something we dealt with, but he still did it, and I wanted to make sure you knew." And the dad's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." I'm like, I'm not offended by it or anything, but it was definitely like, "All right, come here. Like, you're going to talk to the you're going to talk to my supervisor because she wants to be in charge of like talking to these kids very seriously." And that's almost a form of punishment to them. That's about everything. I, just because I was bored last night, started poking around, looking at being a reservist for the Canadian military too. I don't know what I want to do with my life, and it wouldn't be a terrible job. The reservists are not unless you have them pay for your education, in which case I think it's like for every 2 months or every quarter they pay for, you owe them 2 months of service. The reservists are a purely voluntary terms of service, so you stay on as long as you want, or you can leave whenever you want. I'm very curious about it. I've always wanted to learn a lot of things that like an infantry officer would learn, but also it's a lot of work. And it would be a really serious commitment, especially since I would try to be an officer. Even as a reservist, I would try to go for my officer billet because I have the university degree, and I would rather not be a grunt. That's kind of the other new thing that I've been looking at. And hopefully next week you'll get an update on City of Calgary stuff. And it might just be me sitting there going, "I have to write another essay. I haven't written an essay in like a year and a half." That was attractive, wasn't it? Doing that, but hopefully there'll be some update for that. Anyway, thanks for watching. This one actually is way more coherent than the one I tried to record yesterday. So there's good news. Adios.